So a client was going to buy a property, and she just needed guidance, and she wanted me to help her get that done. So she had this vision of buying a property in Nigeria. So she lives abroad, and she's always wanted to build something like a dream house. She wanted a dream house, something that she can always come back whenever she comes back to, a property where she can always put up to, or whenever she comes to Nigeria, she can always stay. And so when she contacted me, I asked her some few questions, and she was able to answer, give me an idea of what she wants. As usual, we have properties that fit into that. So I offered her one of the properties that we have right there on the island, and she was so happy because it was a very good location, somewhere around Ajah. It was a very good location with very, very good title documents that she was able to verify, and she was really, really happy about it. So she got the property, and while she was putting documentation in place, because I always tell people, when you buy property and you do not document, it's as good as you don't have a property at all. So one of the things I do is to ensure that you don't just buy a property, you document it. Like, you practically make sure that the documentation of that property is done, and it is done properly. So while we're in the process of documentation, and don't forget, she already told me she was going to be building, and so I'd already given her some consultation, get an architect, get her architectural drawings ready, electricals and all other drawings ready. And we were waiting for survey, and also the deed was ready. We're waiting for survey, and for her to also do the governor's consent to her name. While waiting for all of these, just in the space of 3 months, just before the survey got ready, our land that she bought, like, it had already appreciated by 30%. Yes, I mean, it's 30% just in 3 months. And I had to send her a flyer and say, see your land. And she was like, wow, this is good. Because the moment you make a payment for your land, the moment you make the first deposit, at that moment your investment has started yielding interest. And that's exactly what happened to her. Someone who moved, now she moved from the fear of, I've heard stories in Nigeria, I've heard people send money home and they've not been able to get anything for what they sent the money for. Like, they've had stories. Of a truth, I've also had stories. Like, people practically tell me these stories more like almost every day. Like, almost every now and then, when I meet people, Nigerians in diaspora, the first thing they tell me is, hey, please, I don't want landed property. I don't want lands that have stories. I don't want properties that will become a problem later. And people tell me things like, I've given my uncle, my sister, my friend some money. Until today, there's no property to show for it. And of the truth, these people are not lying. These are experiences that people go through. So, this my client has had things like that. And before you know it, she had this fear too. And I told her, say, calm down, don't worry. When you're dealing with property, madam, you are in a safe hand. And with the grace of God upon my life, you'll be fine. Then we were able to get her this property. And for me to now send to her and say, see, your property has appreciated. She was so happy. Now, somebody who was afraid now moved from being afraid to someone who is now a landowner. Not just a landowner with good title. That she can actually perfect the document to her name, such that even if at all at that point of perfecting documents, while even in the process of while perfecting documents, she can even sell and make a huge return of 30% in the space of 3 months. That is what you get when you work with us. Are you a Nigerian diaspora who has always desired to own a property back home? You've tried all you could, you've not been able to, get something. As a matter of fact, like I said to people jokingly, there are some of us that it is the grace that we carry. Like, we practically help people break this thing for the first time. You've not done it before, you want to do it, you want to see it happen to you too, then we're the right plug. Just give me a call on the number showing right now on your screen, and you will not regret doing that. As in, you will also join the numbers of those people who say, oh, I'm ready, I'm now a confirmed property owner in Nigeria. Like, you leave the queue of those who are telling stories of how they lost money to the queue of those who now have results, who now have properties back home. Not just properties that are verifiable, properties that are genuine, properties that can actually make good return for them. Either you're looking into building back home for a place that you need to live, or you're looking into investing into Nigerian real estate properties, then we are the right blog. We'll help you. Or if you're just the type who probably occasionally usually have some expenses that you incur in Nigeria, and you just feel like, oh, let Nigerian money pay for Nigeria expense, we also have opportunities for you that can help you meet up with those expenses. Like, you practically invest into Nigerian real estate. It gives you return on a yearly basis that you can also use to meet up with the expenses that you incur back home. See, there are fantastic opportunities around Nigerian real estate. So if you are looking into buying into Nigerian real estate, you live abroad and you need a genuine property, give me a call on the number showing right now on your screen, or send me a WhatsApp message to that same number, and you will be glad that you did so, because you will join the league of those who have a good investment back home in Nigeria. Thank you, and see you in our DM. I remain the property madam.